We're still with Netball on the SportsMax zone. Shamera Sterling is live with us. In our previous segment, we talked to her about playing in the Australia Suncorp Super Netball League, which we will do a little bit more of. In this segment, we focus on her play with the Jamaica Sunshine Girls and what caused her absence from the team's two most recent assignments. Well, she did talk to us about that because of her studying. I want to ask you, though, Shamera, you just outlined for us a very, very hectic schedule that you've got between professional netball and also your studying as well. But it appears as if you do have a lot of time for dancing. We saw some impressive moves there at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and we were very, very impressed. You dance as well as you play.
Thank you so much, brother. While being in the Sunshine Girls team, you have to learn how to dance because everybody can dance, especially at the end. So you have to learn.
So when there are a lot of sports stars who use music to G them up for their performances when they have a big game coming up. When you're getting ready for a Sunshine Girls game or in the Adelaide Thunderbirds uniform in the Suncorp Super League, do you use music and dancing to sort of get you going?
Yes, I do. Normally what the team does is each player have to pick two songs that they want to be on the playlist because when we're in the change room, we can't have our phones, so they download it on something and then to play. But each of us pick two songs that we want to, and then it just plays. But anytime it reaches my song, I'm always pumped up, and I always tell them to ensure that my song plays before game time.
This is the Australian Suncorp Super League.
Yes.
So how do the fans react to the dancehall music? Because I'm sure dancehall music is a part of your choreography.
Yes, they don't. When the songs are playing in the stadium, because they do play the songs, when the songs are playing in the stadium, the fans don't understand the words. But once they start to see me doing the movements, they dance along with me. I even had a tutorial at the Adelaide Thunderbirds teaching my teammates how to do the dance, and they love it, especially the bounce dance by Ding Dong. So yeah. That was a good one.
So how quickly did they learn, or did any of them perfect it?
There were a few players who didn't have dancing in them, but there were quite a few of them who did it well. And I was really surprised, but yeah.
You sound as if you're being kind, Shamera, but we leave it there. I want to ask you quickly about the Adelaide Thunderbirds, though, before we get into the Jamaica Sunshine Girls, because the Thunderbirds have been on the verge of qualifying for the playoffs and not quite making it. Last year, both yourself and Latanya Wilson, a Jamaican defender like yourself, were named Team Defenders of the Year. You were part of the Team of the Year. Why is it that you two so solid in defense, but the Adelaide Thunderbirds are missing the playoffs? Sounds as if you need some offense.
I think from I started playing for the Adelaide Thunderbirds, defense was never our problem. It was always the attack, and then the chemistry that myself and Lati have within the team is just so good that even if we fall off a bit, you won't notice it because of the chemistry that we share on court. But I think for this year, in the Adelaide Thunderbirds, we have gotten a good attack, so let's see how that plays out to see if we'll make it to top 4 spot.
Yeah, and about the Caribbean presence in the Suncorp Super League, Shamera, a couple of seasons ago, you had as many as 9 Caribbean players, 7 of you Jamaicans, and the Trinis, Khalifa McCullin, who isn't there anymore, and Samantha Wallace. How much respect is the Caribbean netball fraternity gaining from the Australian fans?
A lot of respect, because, the fact that we are black, not to be racist or anything, but the fact that we are black and we are performing in such a country that is mostly white dominant, it is very good because the talent that we bring to the league and the excitement, and the Caribbean players are one of the best players in the league. So it's good to have Caribbean players down in the league to help them showcase their talent to the world as well, because we really have great players.
Yeah, Janelle Fowler has been Player of the Year for, I think, 4 or 5 seasons in a row. Samantha Wallace had a bad knee injury playing for the New South Wales. They were champions 2 seasons ago, Shamera. Outstanding shooter. How good is the Trini, Samantha Wallace? Because I'm sure you've come up against her many times.
Yeah, let me just first talk about Samantha's personality. Samantha's personality is unmatched. And even though she's Trinidadian and it's like we weren't friends before international netball. So it was when we went to the league, we became much more closer. She's such an awesome player that plays very calm netball. She doesn't flare or anything, and her shooting is on point, a very accurate shooter. And I'm glad she's down there playing the best at her ability. Hopefully we will see her back in 2023 in the league. She won't be there at the start of the league, but hopefully as it gets to the end, she'll be back.
Yeah, I think it was an ACL that she completely ruptured, so she's in recovery at the moment. Samantha Wallace, would be happy to see her back. About the Sunshine Girls now, we spoke a lot during the summer about the outstanding silver medal effort that you had at the Commonwealth Games, defeating Australia on your way to the final, Australia getting the revenge there. But how satisfying was that? And with 6 or 7 players in the Suncorp Super League in Australia, how much confidence did you girls get from playing in such a high-profile league, and the way it would have matured you and the rest of the girls to challenge the Australians and New Zealanders of this world?
Well, I think coming off the last World Cup that was held in England where we came 5th, I think that's where our revenge started, because Jamaica has never been 5th in netball ever on the international stage. And the fact that we came 5th, it put some vengeance in our eyes to come back and be one of the best in the Commonwealth Games. So now we went to the Commonwealth Games with the mindset from the World Cup to come and beat the best in the world, which was Australia. You know, Australia is always winning. So our mindset was to definitely win. There were a little bit of ups and downs within the team, but I remember one day being at a Commonwealth Games and Jenny just pulled everybody into a room and get everybody on the same page, and that's where we fought to get that silver medal, and we've created history. And to be honest, that's one of the best teams that I've ever been on, and I can gladly say that it has been one of my best tours in my netball history.
Yeah, the Sunshine Girls, the next big assignment, of course, is the Netball World Cup in Cape Town, South Africa. Everybody's looking forward to that. And those who watched the Commonwealth Games closely and saw all the top teams there, the top teams will, of course, again be represented in South Africa. Do you think that if you have luck with injuries, meaning nobody is absent through injury, that you have a genuine shot at that gold medal?
Yes, we definitely have a genuine shot. You know where we went to the Commonwealth Games, we fall short in the finals, but that's okay. But this is only the start of what the Sunshine Girls can achieve. 7 players playing in the Suncorp Super Netball, which is an advantage for us. The only next side of it is to ensure that the girls who are back home are ready to take on the challenge as it relates to getting into the gym, doing their fitness. As long as we top those 2 things, strength and conditioning, we'll be able to take on the work for the World Cup.
People look at the results on paper, Shamera, and say, well, Jamaica always has difficulty toppling the Australians, the New Zealanders, and to a lesser extent, England. Those are the 3 teams that give us trouble. We can almost put our pot on the fire that we'll beat every other team, but those 3 always give us trouble. What we saw at the Commonwealth Games suggests that maybe the tide has turned where there is perhaps even some psychological obstacle against those big teams. Are you confident enough to say that there is no psychological issue, and on the right day, when the Sunshine Girls are right, you can beat any of those teams in any big game?
Well, there are some psychological issues, but it's how you block them out. I mean, I've always said this is the worst I've seen. The association drop from like their situation, and I've been saying that for the years that we have been playing netball, we need to show something other than a bronze medal. And the fact that we have brought Rob Wright, an Australian coach, into the team have helped us greatly. The mind that he came with for netball, because he's also a defense genius. I remember goal defense and a goalkeeper doesn't only play defense, you need the entire team to defend. So what Rob brought to the team was his defense mind to put that into the team to be able to win games. Because, attack, win games, but defense, win championships. And that's what he did. And, along the way, we had a few coaching issues before Rob, but then it was the players who said, guys, we need to focus, we need to block out everything and just be on the same page as players. Whatever comes from the head of Netball Jamaica, let's block it out and just play our netball. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to be just looking at a bronze medal every single time.
And so do you believe that there is a stability at the helm of Netball Jamaica and with the coaching situation to allow the girls to not have those issues to deal with any at all as you seek the ultimate prize?
There is no stability, but I'm hoping as the new year comes that we have a bit of stability, because we need to focus now on the World Cup, because the fact that other teams have seen us at the Commonwealth Games and what we did and how we played Australia, who's ranked #1, they'll definitely be coming at us at the World Cup. And we want to maintain that silver spot and go higher.
Yeah.
So it's either, well, it's gold for me, but we cannot fall below the silver ever again.
And as a senior player, have you made your feelings known to the hierarchy of Netball Jamaica to say, look, we expect, you expect this from us, an optimum level of performance. The country expects that. We expect optimum levels of administrative management from you. Have you made your feelings known to the administrators at Netball Jamaica?
Yes, I am a person that speaks out about anything. Some like it and some doesn't like it, but I think it's good enough. I've spoken out about a lot of things, so hopefully they are listening to me and even the players and try to give us what we want for this World Cup. So when it comes on to sponsors, money, because the Sunshine Girls don't get paid, we pay for free. Players leaving their jobs on a basis where they like Netball Jamaica put in tours that the girls have to leave the job. It's not like when we are in Australia and we leave our job and still get paid. It's not like that. So the fact that the 7 of us in Australia are in a better position, we want the players back home to be in a position as well to be able to take care of themselves as well. As they say, not everybody gets the opportunity, but on the other hand, with Netball Jamaica, they have to provide those opportunities for players as well.
Yeah, and if someone looking on from the outside, Shamera, says, you know what, there is no argument. I mean, it's not even arguable. The reggae girls have done very, very well and they're heading for a World Cup. But our best women's team for year after year after year has been the Sunshine Girls. So there can be no argument that the Sunshine Girls are a world-class unit. But as a senior player, you're saying you want world-class administrators to work alongside the world-class players to make for the best outcome.
Correct. That's definitely what I want to say. And we the Sunshine Girls not asking for much, just for corporate Jamaica to come on board with us and just help us through some little things, because sometimes the association is not able to provide recovery food for the players. They aren't able to send us to the gym because they can't pay for an instructor. So all those little things. And imagine if we had those resources, what we will be doing on the international stage. So
excellent. Hear you on that. So let me ask you this then. So all right, your plan now. So you say you're taking care of school in January. You have to do teaching practice, very important and vital to your overall program of study. When that is done, what do you do what do you do after that ends as you prepare for the serious business of that Netball World Cup? What's your program like for the early part of the year?
Okay, so when I go to school in January, because I do the teaching practice at Tarrant I only have 32 hours left to finish. So that's about 3 weeks in January. Then I leave for Australia after that. And I go to Australia, and I won't be doing school in Australia because our UE is not online anymore, and the time difference is a bit hectic. So when I go back to Adelaide, it'll be strictly gym court work and just focusing on being a part of that top 4 spot in SSN and then carrying on that mentality to the World Cup. So that sums up me.
That's your program. I don't know if you saw much of the America's Netball World Cup qualifiers, where a lot of young players were in the squad. A couple of veterans, of course. Our captain was there supporting them and how they played in that tournament, that 10-team tournament. The question I'm asking you is based on that. There is a lot of talent coming through, and you would say that talent-wise, the country's netball is in good hands, no?
Well, the fact that we are bringing through young players, that's really good to see, because we want to have players that after these current players retire, you want to have other players who will be stepping into the program to be legend like us. So them coming through the program is very good, and the exposure for them to be able to get contracts across the world is very good for them and Netball Jamaica. And then with that being said, players getting overseas contract, that will toughen up our team a bit more to play the world's best.
Yep. I always like to, when I speak to elite athletes or elite entertainers, superstar entertainers, I always ask them how they prepare. Meaning, away from everybody else, away from the team training sessions. Meaning, you know, do you watch a lot of netball in your spare time? Are there particular players that you pay attention to? How do you prepare? I'm going to ask you that. How does Shamera Sterling prepare for a big competition? Her personal preparation?
Oh, my personal preparation is that when I know I'm playing against a player that is going to give me problems on court, I sit and I think about it heavily. I normally watch netball clips of the player, and when I say I think about it heavily until I get nervous. And once I feel that nervousness in me, I am ready. And if I eat pasta the night before, then it's game on.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Outside of the Sunshine Girls, and you speak so glowingly of the outstanding Trinidadian Samantha Wallace, who are your favorite players in world netball?
My favorite players in world netball is that defender from New Zealand called Jane Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Janelle, who is not just only a player, but a player with a very good personality, a player that looks up for other players. I'm also a fan of Samantha Wallace. I'm also a fan of Joe Harton, whose smartness is out of this world in the game of netball. And I also like that win attack from Australia called Liz Watson. So those are my netball people that I really admire based on how they play.
Excellent. Shamera Sterling, Lance, this has been a brilliant interview. She is as bright and sharp as she carries herself on court, and the sky is no limit. We wish you all the best in teaching practice. We hope all goes well. We hope that you avoid any niggles, any injuries, that the training session in Adelaide goes well when you return, and that you are as right as rain by the time the Netball World Cup comes around.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me and giving the opportunity to speak about my netball journey.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Shamera Sterling speaking to us from Montego Bay in St. James.
Yeah, real excellent.
Star.
Love her.
Big star. Big
tremendous star. Great to hear her talking so glowingly about Samantha Wallace, who from a Caribbean perspective is a rival.
Yes.
But she spoke, glowingly about her personality and how a wonderful a person she is. And we wish from the SportsMax zone Samantha Wallace a speedy recovery from her knee injury that kept her out of pretty much the entire Suncorp Super Netball League last year. Shamera did suggest that she may miss the start of the new season, which I guess begins in March or April. But hopefully Samantha will be back sometime during the course of the year and certainly be there for the World Cup for the Trinidadians in Cape Town.
That has to be the target, because we missed her at the Commonwealth Games. The TNT would have been so much better if she was there strutting her stuff in Birmingham. Yeah,
for sure. Break time. Back with more on the zone after this.
Say you fi bounce, bounce. Say you fi bounce, 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 bounce. Say you fi bounce.
Want more content? Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to SportsMax on cable, and download the Sports